is at a particular
so
stage.
if the NDC believes that indeed those constituencies in contention are won,
yes,
you know, why are you afraid of recoalition?
Why was really? Would you
if you had won those constituencies, and he's saying that yes, you are convinced that the NDC had won those constituencies, why are you afraid of recoalition?
So Justice, the
question, if it is recollated and indeed you have won those constituencies, well then you should come back to the NDC.
Justice, first of all, I just gave you the example of the when we asked for forensic audit of the register. We told the EC that if they were not afraid of anything, they should allow the register to be audited.
Okay.
Did they allow it? Did they allow it? They said the law itself, the CI 91, had a mechanism to cleanse the register. Okay. And we're also saying that the law CI 127 has a way to challenge election results. That's all. Nobody is afraid of anything. Just follow the law. That's what we are saying. In any case, we also know that there are fake pink sheets in the system. You see, we shouldn't be afraid of saying so. There are fake pink sheets in the system. In fact, there were fake ballot papers in the system. Some of us were involved in the process. We know that there are pink sheets, even there are fake pink sheets, even in the Electoral Commission's own office. They have pink sheets that they can also manipulate. So don't let us think that they are some angels sitting there, neutral arbiters, and they want to do the things right. No, they are not. We can see that these are people who are determined to help NPP to steal some of the seats. They did it before. You see, so we are saying that follow the law. Even if you want to do that, follow the law strictly. And the law is that once the results, and the returning officers that declare, those that declare the results, they were all workers for the EC, they were employees of the EC. And they are the ones that have the burden or have the duty to declare constituency parliamentary election results. Right. And they did that. So why would the Commission?
You have just about 3 minutes to step down.
Yes.
But let me ask this question.
Yes.
The National Democratic Congress has objected to the application of Mandamus filed by the New Patriotic Party.
Yes.
You know, in court.
Yes.
And stuff like that. The court has dismissed that preliminary objection that you raised because you think that the issue at hand, you know, shouldn't be a matter of application of Mandamus. It should be an election petition because we think that once results have been declared, then nobody can go to court in order to compel the Electoral Commission to go through a process they had already gone through and results declared.
Yes.
And so if they would have to go to court, then they should send a petition to court for the court to determine otherwise. And stuff. But the court has dismissed that objection. On what grounds, on what basis did the court...
Well, so let's understand this clearly. We are talking about what we call preliminary legal objections.
Okay.
In that process, they didn't go into the full evidence, affidavit evidence of the Mandamus that was filed, and then the opposition, or we call it the affidavit in opposition to the. They didn't go into all of that. They didn't show all the evidence that these constituencies were already declared and all of that. This preliminary objection is just that you are saying that, well, there's something I want the court to look at immediately before we go into the substantive case, substantive application that is before the court.
Right.
So at that stage, we didn't put in all our evidence. Okay. So the court thinks that, well, they should have the opportunity. So the argument from our side is that, look, this, in essence, is like a challenge of the validity of an election. And the challenge of the validity of a parliamentary election can only be done by election petition under Article 99 of the Constitution. And so that's the way they should have come, and they are coming through the back door by Mandamus. Well, the court says, well, you know, there are other ways that they can challenge elections until such results are gazetted. That's what the court said. And so those other ways, in fact, once they are not indicated clearly, Mandamus could be one of those ways, and so you would allow that. In fact, in some cases, when you make preliminary legal objections, the court will hear the argument and say that, well, I will determine that objection at the end of the case. So they should just go ahead and present the case, and then I will see whether I can just dismiss the case on that basis alone. In fact, the court had dismissed, if the court had upheld the preliminary objections, it would mean that they will not even move the application for Mandamus at all. You know, that would have been a very simple process, a very simple, very quick proceedings in court. You know, so maybe the judge had the discretion to say, no, well, look, I'll find a way to hear all the applications here, whatever case they have, instead of just throwing everything away at this stage. And you know, people, because the stakes are high. Yeah, so I wouldn't fault the judge for saying that, well, let me just give them the opportunity to move the applications, and let me hear your affidavit in opposition and the evidence that you have.
So let's go the full length of the matter.
Yes, so
and see.
maybe that's it.
Right.
And so we're not bothered at all that the preliminary objection was actually dismissed at all.
Right. Thank you so much. Your expectations.
First of all,
the court.
The point that what is going to come on Saturday is not to determine whether those returning officers had actually declared the results under duress.
Right.
Evidence was not taken for that. You see, that is, if indeed that's what they wanted to allege, they should have gone by election petition so that perhaps they may even call the returning officers to come and give evidence to tell us how they were put under duress and all of that.
Okay.
This application is not that detailed. It's just brief to say that go and compel the EC to go and collate the results because they didn't finish their work or they didn't do it at all. You see, and so just on the surface they said, well, they showed some videos actually. So, but the judge, I am not expecting the judge to rule and say that I find that there was duress, somebody was put under duress in this particular constituency, and so this one should be declared and all of that. That's not what the judge is supposed to tell us whether they should actually come by Mandamus or they should have filed election petition. That is what we are expecting. And I think that, look, if you were in court, if you had listened to the submissions by the trade council, because there's a EC lawyer also over there. You see, interestingly, they didn't oppose anything that was filed by the NPP candidates. You know, if you are listening to everything, I think that we have discharged our duties very well. The submission was very good from our side. We hope that the judge will also uphold the law. If he upholds the law, definitely, look, those constituencies we all saw. In fact, there were videos of the declaration in those constituencies. So once there were videos and the results were declared, we are not saying that if anybody is aggrieved by that, the person should go and sleep. The person can go to court, but there's a process. There's a specific process that you can follow to challenge election results.
Right.
Yeah, there's a process you follow if the results were not declared. And we are saying that in this particular case, you see, when the Supreme Court quashed the quashed the first judge's decision by granting the Mandamus, you see that they took out the Nsawam and then Ahafano North. They were both included actually, but they took them out because they hadn't declared the results in those two constituencies. The first time they had declared the results were after the Mandamus was granted by the judge, the first High Court judge. And that's why the Supreme Court took those ones out. But before that were already declared. They were declared. And so what the Supreme Court did was that they are telling the High Court that take evidence from these interested parties, these people that were declared. Take their evidence and look at it and see whether it is still appropriate for you to grant the Mandamus. And we hope that the Mandamus will be dismissed. That is what we expect, because if you are in court and you listen to the argument, clearly, if everybody understands Mandamus to mean that the public institution must have...
well, you can step down. My time is about to step down. Okay, all right.
So that's fine.
Okay, so you can go ahead.
Yes. So if everybody understands that, and the most important thing I want everybody listeners to understand is that, you see, the Mandamus application, you can only go to court and say that the court must compel a public institution to perform that the institution is required by law to perform.
Right.
So we have to, if a result is declared, we must find somewhere in the law, in the CI 127, that under certain circumstances, results could be declared and yet the commission can recollate.
Okay.
And then they can go to court and say that, compel the commission to recollate in accordance with this section or this regulation of the CI 127. There's nothing like that. And that is why, you see, they never said that there were collations. They never said that there were declarations, the Mandamus applications. They cannot say so, because once you say there were declarations, then it means that the EC had done its work. Everything is finished.
So once they did not state that there were declarations and stuff like that, and you are claiming that declarations were made, and for that reason they shouldn't have come to court.
Mandamus. And so it was our duty to present.
Do you have evidence of declarations made within these consequences?
Yes, and we should. There's even video evidence.
Okay.
Yes, we saw it. We saw the Central. We saw it when it was declared. PAA KWESI, we saw it when it was declared. Abdekuma North. We saw it when it was declared. So we laid all that before the judge and said that, look, once these things were declared, the EC had no more duty to perform. That's all. We call it in law, they say functus officio. Very well. You have discharged your duty, you have nothing to do with that again. Another forum can determine if there was anything wrong with the way you did.
I know that the LI, you know, provides a room or makes a room for recollation to be done, or recounting, what we call recounting to be. At what point can the Electoral Commission do that?
No, you see, recounting can be done 2 times.
Okay.
First of all, at the polling station, a polling agent can ask for a recount. As of right, the first one, as of right, that means that if you don't have, you only think that, well, I'm not satisfied with the way the counting was done, so I recount. They won't even ask you why. You have to do it.
Okay.
If you are not satisfied, you can ask for a second recount. If you ask for a second recount at the police station, these are the police station. If you ask for a second recount at the police station, the presiding officer also has the discretion to do it or not. If he doesn't do it, they will go and do it at the collation center.
Right.
So the collation center, the only time there will be a recount at the collation center is when it was requested at the police station a second time and it was not done.
Very well.
You understand that? Yes. So when you come to, because at the collation center, they don't even bring the ballot boxes. Where I was in the collation center. They didn't even bring the ballot papers, the ballot boxes. They brought them first and then they sent them out. They said they didn't need them over there. You see, but if there was a request, a second request for recounting for a particular police station, yes, that they will bring that ballot box, and then the second request that was made that the presiding officer did not do, they will bring it to the collation center, only that one. Otherwise, all the rest, they were sent to EC office somewhere. They only brought the pink sheets because the results were already counted, collated, not collated, recorded on the pink sheet. So it's the pink sheet that we need at the collation center. So they brought all of them there, unless there was a request from a particular police station for a recount to be done at the collation center, then they will bring that box for it to be recounted over there. So that is all the recount is about at the collation center.
So to the best of my understanding, and I would want you to reiterate this.
Yes.
What you are saying is that once counting is done,
yes,
and declaration is made,
yes,
there's no need
yes.
for any party to say that I'm going to court under the application of Mandamus. You can only go to court if you feel that you are not satisfied with the results and stuff like that, by petitioning or by filing, by petitioning the court, the High Court, under Article 99. That, well, I'm not satisfied with the declaration that has been made, so I'm here for the right thing to be done.
Okay. The circumstances allowed it to be done, it was symbolic, whatever. Right. You can go to court and allege anything. But I'm saying that as for Mandamus, you see, Mandamus is only to compel, let me use a common term that everybody can understand, to force the public institution to do its work.
Okay.
So you have, and you see there's something that there's a little contention right now as to whether there must have been a request to that public institution to do the work and it's refusing.
Yes.
Yeah. Some people are saying that there's a school of thought that says that in granting Mandamus, well, it's not necessary this time. It's not necessary that you should have asked the public institution to do the work. Once they are required by law to do, you can go by Mandamus. But the point is that, you see, you must be able to show that they are refusing to do the work. How do you show that they are refusing? Unless you require them to do it,
I'll come to Solo pretty shortly. But at what point in circumstances like this can a Mandamus application be filed in court?
Yes, for instance, the Insawam Adwajiri case,
right?
The Mandamus is in place. I think it's appropriate because the result was not declared.
Okay.
You see, it was not declared, and so they can go and tell the EC that they can go to court and say, but they should have shown that we have asked the EC, we have written to the EC to declare, and yes, they are not doing it. So we are asking EC to declare because they have not declared, so they have to declare. They have to collect and declare. In Insawam, yes. What? For me, because I wasn't even, because I am saying that I know already that there are fake print sheets. So I would have done, because I'm with NDC, and so once I believe that there were fake print sheets, I would have insisted that in some Nigeria, although Mandamus, they can go by Mandamus, I would have insisted that no, I don't trust the print sheets that in the system anymore. Okay. That would have been a classic of running the election over there. Because there were print sheets that we don't know where they brought them from, why they had delayed. You see, the reason why the general public, the youth especially, were amassing at the collation center, is because those people are coming from the various police stations. They knew already that they had won.
Right.
You see, they would have listened, when you are at the collation center, you understand. You see, you will see that the EC people, they have everything in front of them, and yet they will be delaying. They will not be collecting. And when they are not collecting, the period they are not doing the collation, that is the period, if anybody wants to steal, that they steal. They manipulate. I was at the collation center, and I know what I'm talking about. When they sat down and they were not doing anything, I was asking them, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? I saw the NPP candidate came there several times. First and said that I want they should stop, they should don't collect at all because they cannot find some of these benches and all that. So when the youth,
let me go there for a time to
put some pressure. That is not actually duress.
Right.
Yes, because they know that the people want to cheat, and it is because our elections are not fair. They know that the EC is always aiding one side, and so when people voted this time, they didn't leave the police stations. They went right there because they suspected that people would come and steal.
Thank you.
That is the same way they moved to the collation center. So when they moved to the collation center, they are asking people to do it. It's another way of Mandamus. That's a public Mandamus. They themselves are saying, do your work.
All right. Thank you so much, Lawyer, for your submission. Now, so kindly take us on.